Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here, just firing off a few trades here on a Tuesday evening. I'll just quickly show you a couple of these. So two trades I've taken so far on the FESX, the Euro Stoxx 50. Let me just show you here. This is the 550 tick chart, sorry, 550 share bar, and we can see here I shorted up here on a classic T2. Was right on a pivot, but we had come up, breached the pivot. We had a T89 up here, so I'm after 6 ticks here on 10 contracts, which is $664 on this T2. One more tick to go. Come on, come down. And let me see, was
Order
whoops,
filled.
there we go. So that was just filled. And over here earlier I had a T89 for 7 ticks, which is $774. So we can see here the classic entries as plotted by the software by TradeStation. We can see my entry, my exit here at the 89. Had a couple of other trades that was good for 4 ticks. I wasn't in on those trades, by the way. Then we had a nice 200 bounce. So these are fairly classic trades. So that's 700, just say 750 and say 650. What's that? That's 8, that's 1400. Actually looking up here on the screen, 3,796, but that's from some trades earlier this morning as well. So these are very classic setups. We had T2, ignore this little thing down the bottom here, just something I'm experimenting with, but this is a T2, a T2, a T2, T89. Here we've got another T2. So far quite a good day. My target is of course $400 a day and per contract, and so far we're up, what's that, 140, 150. I'll ignore this morning's trade. So it's been a good day so far. I'll put this on hold and we'll see if we get some more trades later on. Actually, just one thing I thought I'd do. This is the NQ55 tick. So during the day, normally if I was at home or at the office, I play the 55 tick. Let's just have a look. After the market reopened, we had a T89 up here. We had a T10, classic T10 here. We then had a T2 here. You had another T89. You had a T10 over here, traders. Another nice little double top here to the short side. We can see everything's falling, now 89, and if you had have taken that one, that would have been a very nice one as well. So once again, these are the setups that I teach in the Day Traders Fast Track program. So there's over 12 different strategies, and as you can see, in the traders that watch me trade every day see me basically win day in day out. However, one thing I do want to say, traders, it's a matter also of knowing when not to trade, and the time when not to trade particularly is when we start to see all of our MAs, everything start to move sideways. So I'll put this back on hold and we'll see what else we get. This is just typical, isn't it? While I was there talking away, the market plunged, and we just had another very nice T10 had just set up. So we're well away from the bands now. So what you've got to be very careful of is what I call reversion to the mean. When you move right away from your moving averages, of course, particularly if it move away from the 89 and the 34, it's only a matter of time. Sorry about the barking dog in the background there. It's only a matter of time before we have a slingshot back, and the market is plunging right now. Let me just minimize this. Of course, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, and for information on my fast track program, your investment's only $197, please drop me an email. So let's have a quick look what's happening. So we can see here we've really dropped away here, and we've come down and we've hit a floor pivot on the NQ55. Now if you like trading the Euro Stoxx 50, let me bring it back up because I just want to show you a couple of other things that are happening. This is one of the very reasons why I don't like talking or recording and trading at the same time. Now the chart over here, this works really well. This is the 89 tick. So the 89 tick on the Euro Stock X 50, we can see this T89 that I took. You can see it here. Actually, let me just give a large pointer here, so you can see my entry, my exit. Then over here you can see this basically here on the 89 tick was a T10. You can see that there. On the 550 it comes up as a T2. Doesn't really matter either way. It was a nice winning trade. Now what we've got setting up here, traders, is a classic T89. With the T89 though, I do like to see ideally some divergence, which we don't have, so it may very well come up, bounce down, then fall away again. So we can see here that there's some good price action, but it's a little messy in comparison to the 550 volume chart here. So you can see there's been a lot more movement, but notice how it's a much smoother chart. It's a much smoother chart to trade. Now here you just had here a perfect straight after I exited this one, you had a T25. Here you had another T2 just there. And let me just remove this too smooth here. Okay, we can see here we had a T25, you had then another T25 just here. So your T25s, traders, when you've got your 8 EMA giving you a great trend direction, for a fantastic trade to take, a very high probability. Now we can see here we've had a little pivot bounce, so you've actually had that was actually a T89 right there. So let me mark that up. So we've had a big fall away. We've got a little bit of divergence here on our stochastic, just here to here, we can see that. So this will probably go up and probably deliver 6 or 7 points on the Euro Stock X 50. Now remembering, when you trade these, because they are counter trend trades, you do have a high percentage of losses in, say, trend trading. So if you want to keep it safe, you stay with the trend. So you can see here you had basically a T10 there, you had then a T2, a T2, counter trend, T10. Here we can see it was a T2 for one I was on there, 6 ticks, and you could have easily jumped in here on the T25 and another one here for T25, and both of those are good for 5 or 6 ticks. Now we may very well come down and test this, come down and test our pivot here. We've just had a T1 form, and the T1 of course is just when you've had a tick down below. So we can see here it looks like we've got a little drop away. I'm always very cautious in taking a trade against a T89, because traditionally your T89s of course are a good indication of a decent change in trend. So look at this one here, great change in trend. This T89 here was a good change. Now my exit, you can see here I set my target here on the 89. You can see we had a bounce off the 89. Now here we go, and let's just
order filled.
Okay, so you can see here we're in the market now, and let's see what happens. Now I am going to go for one more tick. 1 2 3 4, so I'm after 6 ticks on this one. It may come down, so I've got a 5 tick stop, so I'm a good couple of ticks under here. This is a high risk trade because it is a counter trend. One good thing is we can see that our platinum is above the 0 line. We do have a pivot bounce here, so fingers crossed we bounce up. My yellow is my 34. I've also got a rising long-term stoke, and I've got a turn up of my short term, so that's all a really good sign that I'm going to get some follow-through. However, it's trading. It's about probabilities. Now it is 6 p.m. in my part of the world, so I'm in a moment about to go down and have dinner with the family. So actually, normally if I was going to do that, I'd probably be targeting up here around the 89. So I'll keep it at this point here. So this is let me just mark this up because I'm pretty confident this is going to deliver. Mind you, you never want to curse yourself, of course. At 664 on 10 contracts by 10. Okay, we've still got a couple more ticks to go. Now what I am going to do here, traders, I'm going to go to break even because now I'm not prepared to give anything back, because I've got to go down and spend some time with the family and have dinner. Come on, one more tick, deliver this please. All right, now I'm going +1 because I'm just not prepared to give anything back here because of time and whatever. So this is a no lose trade here. So this is $110 on 10 contracts, less a little more brokerage. It's going to be still around $100, but I'm just not prepared to give anything back here, and I want to go downstairs. Come on, one more point. So traders, this is here we go, we're just about filled, still waiting for all the contracts to be taken out. And this is one thing you'll see all the time. You'll go up, and just because you see it touch your target, it doesn't mean that you've actually been filled. So I have one more contract to go. Come on, tick up. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull that down.
Order filled.
Okay, so 9 of the contracts there I was filled there, so I'm a little less than 664. But traders, you can just see that it's fairly straightforward in the form of trading that actually trade. It's very mechanical. Now you can look at these screens and say, wow, it looks complicated. Well, once you understand what each indicator does, and as an example, you don't need to have my channel on there. And once you learn what everyone does, it's fairly straightforward. It's not rocket science. So what I'll do is just put up, so if you'd like to find out more about my course, please drop me an email. It's the best $197 you'll ever invest. You'll never look for another trading system or strategies. I give you the best of the best. And traders, if you've watched any of my other YouTube videos, you'll see I trade like this virtually every single day. Do I have lost days? Of course I do, but fortunately they're not too often. They're pretty rare. So whether if you're a new trader, you start by learning one of my setups, then you move to the second one, then you move to the third one, and in total there's about 4 core trading setups that I'll teach you. There's 12 in total plus pivot bounces, but there's about 4 that you really want to learn, and learn them well. So how are we going here? Okay, so we've ticked up through, so I would have been fine on that last contract. And traders, I'm going to put this on hold for now because I've got to get downstairs. My wife is calling me. Thanks, traders. Okay traders, so back up from having a meal with my family. Let's just cover some of the action that we've had since I went downstairs. Well, as we know, we had this trade here, a very nice 6-7 tick trade. Then we had a classic 89B bounce, and by the way, why did I enter this trade here, and why not enter here? Why did I wait till here? Well, counter trend trades, even though it's a T89, to wait for a double bottom, what we call a T7, it's just a nice confirmation, because having it tested twice, and we can see we had a very nice one over here as well. So see how you've come down, you've bounced off a pivot, come down again. If you look at that there, you've got a perfect double bottom, a T, what we call a T7, and away it goes again. So absolutely perfect. Now this also coincided with, if we look down here, we can see we've got a rise in long-term Stoke. You've come down, and what else do you have there? A perfect T10. So you got a T7 with a T10. So a really nice trade. Of course, I was downstairs having dinner with the family, so I missed out on that one. So we then further over here we had what, a T2. Now, one of the easiest things to do to make sure that you're trend trading or staying on the right side of a ledger and that the probabilities are going to work in your favor is to follow the 89 and the 34. If you stick with that, it just makes it very high probability trading. You had one here, of course, your T2. You had another one here, remembering your stop would have been 1 or 2 points down below here, and away it went. So if you had have taken all of these trades, it would have been a fantastic trading evening, which is fairly typical for us. Now at the moment I'm trading, well, this particular market is the Euro Stoxx 50, which is the London session. So for my good friends in the United States and Canada, of course it's still it's in the wee hours of the morning over there, but for my European friends it's of course their key trading time. Now one thing I forgot to mention earlier, because there's a couple of slides I want to show you here, traders, is remember the risk. And so this particular in watching these trades, remember there's always risk involved in trading. Please stop the video and have a proper read of this if you wish. But there's a couple of things I want to bring up, and that's this: there are trading opportunities like this 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, whether you're trading futures, Forex, or stocks. Now the truth about trading is this: traders say to me all the time that I make it look so easy. Well, yes, I've been day trading now for well over 23 years. Of course, a lot of that time I've been doing research and development, and let alone a huge amount of day trading. So yes, I've got the experience and I've developed the mindset, the psychology, but this is something I want you to consider in looking at this. Can you learn it? Anyone can do this if you have the will. It doesn't mean you will do it. You've got to have that burning desire. But what makes it easy is only 5% of it is money or risk management. Only 5% of trading is your trading strategy. A massive 90% is your mindset, is your psychology, is how you sit. And really, I think it's one of the most important things is having the patience to sit and wait for the trade set up to meet your rules. Now in developing the right mindset, traders, really you need to have what I call a compelling future. If you've got a compelling future, you can move mountains. You can create a life as a day trader if it's extraordinary. You've got to create, to do that, a life that's compelling. You've got to have your life plan written out. Now I know what a lot of people are thinking: oh, baloney, I don't need to do that. But I can show you some of my students and clients that are some of the best day traders in the world today. They all have created what I call a compelling future. Now let me also say this: over 70% of the traders that I work with are already very experienced, and a lot of them are not making it. They're finding it tough. One of the reasons, traders, is of course is that who motivates the motivator? Who's your coach? When you're working on your own, when you're just learning how to trade out of a book, or maybe attending 1 or 2 courses, maybe you're in the wrong type of live trading room, is that it's so easy to go off the rails, to make mistakes. Well, now's the time to draw a line in the sand. The past does not equal the future, meaning today is a day you can turn your life around when it comes to trading. And what I've discovered, and this is so true even with my own trading, is that I had to draw a line in the sand of what I was no longer willing to tolerate as far as my own behavior when it comes to trading. So traders, you have to make a commitment and basically say, I'm committed and there will be no more excuses. Because one of the greatest challenges in dealing with experienced traders is the old habits and the old way of thinking that you bring to the trading table. Now we can turn that around. We can change things. We can get you back to making money and trading profitably. But what it means is, traders, is of course drawing a line in the sand. So before we go back to the charts, I just want to say this: I classify myself as a sniper, As a day trader, I'm patient, I'm a sniper, one shot, one kill. I'm a rules-based pattern trader. So really, that's should excite you in a way, because patterns are easy to learn. Patterns repeat themselves every day. They're rules-based, and you see them day in, day out. And what that means to you is it doesn't take long to learn to recognize the patterns. So let's quickly go back to the charts and have a quick look at this. So what did I just have set up here? Now for my students, you know what that was. What was it? A T89. So let me go on and apply the channel, and what you'll see is a gap between price action and the channel. So let's just have a look at this. So let me go up here and let me go down and put my channel on, and let's have a look, and there it is there. Okay, so you had a T89, a perfect T89 right there. Now remember, the T89 is where you've had a close below the second candle or your 8, and away it goes. Now that's so far good for 7 ticks. So yes, it is a counter trend trade, which means, traders, that they're not always going to be as accurate as trading with the trend. However, there's still a great trade. Now also, as you may notice here, we're getting some divergence. Okay, so traders, if we look at this here, then there's been trades fire off left, right and center all night. Now just one moment, I just need to check one more thing. Sorry, I just want to see how the YM was going. So this earlier I might have mentioned, this is a volume for the share bar. This is 550 volume. So if we then go back and just have a quick look at how our tick is going, our 89 tick, okay, you can see here there's plenty of action there, but your volume is just a much smoother chart. So traders, if you haven't already purchased the fast track program, I provide you a full email support. There are literally now dozens of videos that I put up involved in the fast track training program. There's now over 20 hours of recorded sessions. You receive all of my updates, and of course, as most of you are aware, very soon we are opening, as soon as I finish these major contracts that I'm working on, we are opening a live trading room. So if you wish to then be involved in our live room, and you'll be able to log in and trade alongside us. I won't be the only moderator. I have 2 other moderators that will be working with me, trading my setup. So you'll be able to execute those trades in real time. And to join the live room, you will need to own the fast track trading program. So it'll be the best $197 you ever invest in yourself. It will also be the last program you'll need to purchase, because everything that we teach in the fast track program works on all time frames and all markets, and they've been around for years. And as I tell everyone, there's nothing new in the setup, so all I've done is perhaps fine-tune them. And once again, be very, very careful of somebody that says to you, I've discovered something new about trading. It's a little bit like, I trade on age-old technical trading fundamentals that have been there for 50-60 years. Beware of the man that tells you he's manufacturing antiques, as I say. Antiques are old, just like the best trading methodologies are old. They're also very rules-based, and anyone can learn them. You can learn how to trade.